People think that to start a massive business, you need money. That's true. I did not put a penny into my company. I made a couple dollar profits. I actually saved it and put it into the side.
Amazing. This is the first time we actually know what the name of the podcast is. The first 4 episodes was like, welcome to the I don't know what it's called podcast. So now we could say welcome to the Solo to CEO podcast, where we interview solos who become a CEO of their own company. We're sitting here with Moshe Dahari in Toms River, New Jersey. And Moshe, tell me what you do.
So we have 3 companies. One of them is EverKleen, Wynn's Bins, and Wynn's Potty. EverKleen is more the cleaning and the demo, and Wynn's Bins is the dumpster company, and Wynn's Potty is the portable toilets rentals.
Okay, and which of these 3 companies are you most currently invested in right now? Or farthest along?
In all of them.
That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah. Which one have you been with the longest, though?
The longest was EverKleen.
Okay.
EverKleen was the first company that I started.
So let's dive into EverKleen. Tell me about it. What is EverKleen?
EverKleen is a company that will help homeowners and contractors from beginning of the project till the end of the project. An example, we'll start with the demolition, either the interior demo or a knockdown of a house or a building. Then the customer will call us after he already did either the foundation or the framing. We'll come and do the site cleanup. We'll keep always constantly the site cleaned. And then towards the end of the project, we'll come and do the massive final cleaning at the same time. But the certain projects also will do the concrete cutting for them. An example, a customer needs plumbing in the basement where it does not have any plumbing at all. So we'll come and cut the concrete for them, and he'll call his plumber. Her plumber will put the piping. We'll come and basically cement it back.
And that's part of what EverKleen does, though.
That's part of it, yes.
So the concept of EverKleen is that throughout the entire project, it will forever remain clean.
Correct.
From the beginning, you do the initial cleaning, and then throughout the project. That's pretty cool. So let's back up a bit. How did you get into this?
Long story, just make it short.
Long story long.
Yeah.
Long story short, we can do that.
I always wanted to own my own business. I was working in a grocery store for 12 years. But at the same time, I just wanted to get out and open up my own thing. So I really started with window cleaning. I went and I got one job and I started cleaning the windows. It was very hard in the beginning. I was almost giving up, but it brought me to different ideas.
And you were a one-man show?
One-man show.
Wow. How were you advertising at the time? How were you getting jobs?
I was word to mouth.
Word of mouth?
Word to mouth.
The first job, how'd you get it?
I went over to him. I would like to start a cleaning company. Can I clean your windows?
Amazing.
It took me a whole day, but my arm was hurting me by the end of the day.
Got a good workout.
Yes.
So then he recommended you to his friends, and then it just spread.
Not him. Again, it just went to another customer and asked him, and eventually that brought me to a customer that requested a stripping and waxing. You usually see this in hospital buildings, schools, and maybe gyms for the floors. So basically, we'll strip the floor and make it into brand new and wax the floor. That customer called me up. I didn't have nobody, but then I subbed that out to somebody, and then eventually that customer came to me one more time a year follow. And eventually I saw an opportunity, and that's where really it started.
Basically, you continued with the window cleaning.
I stopped it.
You stopped at that
full
point.
Year. Yeah, I just gave up.
And you took on this waxing job.
Yeah, because that customer knew I do it. He thought I was still continuing doing it. I just took the opportunity, and I just subbed it out to somebody. I made $100 of that job. It was a decent job.
So what were you doing?
I was still working in the grocery store.
Oh.
I subbed that out.
So when you were doing the window cleaning, that was as a side job?
It was a side job. I was still working in a grocery store. Another job, right. As a side job, I just said, I want to open something, so let me try that. And we'll see what happens, where it's going to take to. But it didn't work out so well, and that it slowed down. And eventually I got this stripping and waxing job for a school, where that led me to bigger, better things and opened my mind more.
Amazing. So what happened next? You got this job. You subbed it out to someone.
They did a beautiful job, and this customer asked me to do it the following year. Basically, with this stripping and waxing job for the school, led me to other opportunities. I went to a synagogue and asked them if I could clean their the synagogue. They told me, go ahead. We started cleaning. I got some worker, and he started cleaning like twice a week or 3 times a week. Then I got another store cleaning on a weekly basis. Eventually, the school that gave me the stripping and waxing in the beginning, they moved to a different building, a bigger, beautiful building. And where there, I was required 4 people every single night to clean that building. And that's where it really gave me the push. And I continued asking for people for more jobs.
Describe that moment when you first realized, oh, I need to hire someone.
I don't know. I just did the same. That my first guy is still with me until this day.
Wow.
So that guy got his friends. They did it as a night job. They would come and clean buildings, and the school buildings and the other stores and the synagogue. And they did it for a few hours. And then eventually we added more hours and we got more people.
Wow. So you basically started this company as a janitor.
Correct.
Wow.
You'll call me as a janitor, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
if we're looking at it that way, I mean, you're sitting
Yes.
as the CEO of a cleaning company. Of how many people you have working for you right now?
Close to 90.
Wow. Close to 90 people, and you started as a janitor. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. Hold on, I need a minute to let this settle. It just shows the level of opportunity that's really could be in it for everyone.
But I never gave up.
That's the key.
That's the key. Never give up.
Wow. So the first few people you hired were additional cleaners, right?
Regular night cleaners.
Because each job that you had, you needed multiple people.
Correct. So, yeah. It
So you
depends,
didn't have
depends
that-
how big of the job.
Okay, fine. And so where did it go from there? What happened next?
Where did it go? This is in 2016. I really started in the end of 2015. Around 2016, that's when I opened up my actual company, created the name EverKleen. And from there, it just within 2-3 months, it just started and became booming. And where I saw I was have a massive opportunity, I was still working in the grocery store. So I was really relying on this worker, who is by me till now, to make sure that everything's running. I would just send him the addresses, and he would just go and do it for me.
So he wasn't just a cleaner; he was kind of managing the business.
But he was the cleaner. He cleaned
did both.
and he just made sure that everything was running. But again, at that time we had only 2-3 people. It was not, it was only part-time jobs. Also, it was not full-time jobs.
It's actually an interesting point that if you're a cleaner, you can be doing things while you're cleaning. You could be managing the business while you're cleaning in a certain sense. You could almost
And
always
not
answer a phone call.
everybody has that kind of skills. I mean,
To
some
multitask, right?
no, it's not multitask, I would say, but a cleaner doesn't necessarily know how to operate. You tell him to do something, he just does it. Does he care about the job? Some people don't care. I was lucky that this guy cared and stayed with me the whole time, because otherwise he would have just walked off.
He saw the potential,
He saw a massive potential, and eventually it really helped me out a lot.
and he's still with you today. In what capacity is he with you?
He's
right now?
actually a manager, manages basically all the guys.
So he jumps from site to site. So he doesn't actually clean now. He's just all over the
He
place.
does sometimes when he needs. If someone needs to be trained or there's emergency jobs that I need his help, he will be there for me.
Wow.
He'll be here. He's day and night. I would call him 3-4 o'clock in emergency or something happened, and he'll be always there. I had one time when it was Christmas. A few guys supposed to come with him. None of them showed up. He went to the synagogues and he cleaned all those synagogues. But I realized I felt so bad, and I went and helped him. I went there and helped him, and I
it's
started
Saturday
cleaning shuls with him.
So Saturday night, you guys are out there cleaning synagogues until like 3 a.m.
I would say 5-6 in the morning.
Wow, the CEO and the project manager are... Wow, that's unbelievable.
It was a different occasion than me and him scrubbed the whole store, brand new store that was supposed to open the next day, and a few guys didn't show up that night.
And at the time, you had 90 employees.
At that time, no.
Oh, that was at the beginning.
That was just the beginning, and I was there, and we did it. That was in the beginning.
So now this is 7 years later. When was the last time you cleaned anything?
I always clean.
Are you always cleaning?
I always clean.
In my company, I call myself the janitor, the head janitor, just because I can't really ask people to clean anything. So I'm the one that takes out the garbage. But But
I'm still the janitor at my house, though.
Every man's gonna be the janitor of his house if he wants to stay married, right? So what happened next? So at this point, you had your initial hire, and then the other people that you had hired with you, they were with you steady or job to job?
No, I would have one guy for one night. I would have a guy for a week and walk away. He was not making enough money. Some people didn't see any potential into it. Right. I have workers that did come back and ask for the jobs. So that's from the beginning they started. And whoever was good at that time, I actually hired them. And actually, there's one person that is doing wonderful by us, who was also in the beginning, left us for a year, came back, and he's actually one of the crew leaders that we have in our division.
So the people that left you because they didn't see potential, and then they came back, you didn't say like, no way, I'm not taking you back.
Sometimes a second chance does better than the first time you give somebody an opportunity. Because now they could trust you, and now they could feel comfortable working for somebody where the company grew.
Right. Also, when someone leaves a company because they don't see potential, they're really everyone's looking out for themselves. And there's different types of brains that work in different ways, and you're not necessarily looking for someone that's going to be, a visionary who's looking for at the future of the company. You might just want someone who's in the moment, managing what's going on. And if his way of thinking leads him to leave when he doesn't see it going well, it doesn't necessarily mean when he comes back that he's not going to be fully committed. It could mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. So what was the next step that you took?
So the next step that I took, I had a close friend of mine who was actually using me for cleaning houses that he would buy and then flip it and sell it. He was one of my first people that gave me an opportunity to start cleaning. So I cleaned one of his houses, and then the next project he gave me was, would you do a small demo, an interior demo, knock down a few walls, a kitchen. I said, I'm a cleaning company, I'm not a demo guy, but let me try. He's like, yeah, go ahead. So I called my main guy, and I told the guy, would you want to do a demo? I was like, yes. He didn't say, I don't know how to do it. We had no clue what we were doing.
Didn't you need like specific equipment for demolition?
We had nothing. By the way, we started with $0.
Not even a broomstick.
Not even a broomstick. You said it correctly. Nothing. Some people think that to start a massive big business, you need money. It's not true.
One would think that, yeah.
I mean, again, I did not put a penny into my company. I didn't start it with a penny. Nothing. He did a job for me. I paid him. Customer paid me. I made a couple $1 profits. I actually saved it and put it into the side.
And what was that like, putting aside every penny that came in?
It was actually great. I felt great because at the end of the day, I never used my personal money into this business. It just, whatever profit came in, I just rolled it. And I never took out nothing for the first couple of years.
That's a really responsible way to start. There was a few things you pointed out. It was number one that you said you never left your job until you're
I was there for 2 years till I left.
Right, until you knew that this thing was kicking off, was actually taking off, and you actually had to leave, right? That until then you actually stuck it out. So that's number one. And number two, you didn't put any of your personal money in your business.
Correct.
Right? In some cases you have to, but in your case you didn't do it unless you had to, and you didn't.
Correct.
And number three was that you reinvested all the money that came back in, you invested it back in the business.
Correct.
Those are three things that most people don't manage to do
Correct.
properly.
And a lot of people are very afraid to start because either they don't have the money or they are very nervous to start something because they don't have the money, they don't have the resource. Again, I had no resource. I had no clue what I'm doing. I'll be honest. I had no clue. I did nothing. I knew how to clean a floor. I knew how to mop a floor. There's also very detailed information that goes into cleaning. I had no clue. So I was saying, I'll go back what I was saying to the demo job. I had no clue. I had no tools, no hammers, no nothing. We went there. We bought hammers, drills, whatever was necessary, crowbars, and a few other tiny tools. It's probably a $200 investment or whatever that it was. We did that job. Junk, and we hauled it away. Again, that $200 initial investment for a demo. Now we have a few demo tools we put into the side. And when the next demo job would come, hopefully to use it, we bought tools as we needed. That means we did a job and we needed a special tool. We went and bought it.
I'm unfortunately the opposite. I buy the tools when I think I might need it. and that's why I have so much extra gear. I don't recommend it.
I won't recommend because a lot of your profits that I've seen in stores, groceries, or any other companies, what eats your profit is your storage, is your inventory. So it means if you're going to buy products or tools and it just sits, so technically your
money could be reinvesting
into other things, we're just sitting on the shelf. A lot of the time it's just a waste of money.
If you actually went ahead and wrote down every single Amazon purchase and then you look at it, so when you're buying a little bit at a time, it's not such a big deal. But when you look at it, over the course of a month, and you're like, maybe we don't need all that stuff.
But imagine if you had to buy something just to start a demo, you need to spend $20,000-$30,000.
Right.
It's a big number. I never felt that big number when I bought. Like an example, if I have to buy today an excavator, and I need it, it's $100,000 price tag, but I'm gonna need it. So my price, $100,000, is not the same when I started. Imagine if I had to pay $100,000 in the beginning. It would hurt me a lot.
Wow. So wait. So what's an excavator?
An excavator is a machine that either you can use as to trench dig or to dig, or either to use it for a demo, a house or a knockdown. It's a big machine with a hand, and it crushes up the building or digs for you.
What would you attribute all this growth to? What do you feel is the reason this blew up?
Everything is, whatever happens to me is all from Hashem, from God. So Hashem wanted me to put me in this position, and that's what I did. It just...
Was there something that you were offering that you felt
I don't know if I was offering or that. At the end of the day, I think it's more the customer service and the caring of a job. But between me and you, I'm a nice guy. I don't know.
No, but I think you hit it. I think that's what it is. I feel that as long as you're providing good customer service, you're most likely going to succeed.
Correct. So, yeah, 100%. It
Obviously,
is, at the end of the day, it is the customer service. And people want that. They feel that you do care about their project, and they repeatedly come back to you. Not just that, they refer you to other people. And that's where it really blew up tremendously. The first 2 years, I never put any ads, nothing. It's really word of mouth. People liked my service. They cared about my company, and they were trying to help me as much as possible. People did not believe that I got to this stage.
I'm sure you don't believe it either.
I still don't believe it. It really exploded, really, when I left the grocery store, and I had approximately 20 guys working for me. I would say 5 full-time, or maybe 8 full-time at that time. And I had the rest of them, like 12 were like part-time, night jobs, school buildings and stuff like that.
You were like a cashier in a supermarket.
I wasn't. I started as a cashier, and you had
20 employees.
Yes.
That's insane. What was your position in the grocery store?
I was doing orders. We do shopping orders for other people and put it in the wagons and be a register.
Wow. So you're working at the register with 20 employees.
And the side, 20 guys.
That's insane.
One of my hardest things that I had to make a decision is leaving a grocery store. So I was in Israel for Sukkot that year, and I spoke to my rabbi. He told me 2 things: either to continue working in the grocery store, but tell them to do only part-time, and continue doing whatever you're doing, or if he does tell you to do more hours, then just leave. And when I came back, he wanted me to actually do more hours. Right there and there, I told him, I wrote him a beautiful note, thank you so much, and gave me back his keys, and I started working for myself this time.
What was that like?
It was very hard. The first 2 weeks, I felt I was either depressed or something. It was extremely very hard for me.
Also, the structure you had.
I was at the store at 7:30 every morning, and then come back home at 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I basically would spend a few minutes with my family, and then go and look at the jobs what the guys are doing. But I would come home 2-3 o'clock in the morning and go back to the grocery store at 7:30.
Did you sleep?
I did not sleep. Maybe slept 2-3 hours. I was strong enough. I wanted something, and I had to work hard for it.
How many hours a day do you work now?
I still work hard. I still put a lot of hours, but again, I don't work hard as what it used to be, but I don't work at nights also. So, but my phone is always open. Anybody could call me.
At all hours of the day?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I still like to be very busy, and that's my nature, and I like to move around.
How do you find your work-life balance? Or do you have a work-life balance?
I do have my balance. My family is very important to me, and I make time for everything.
And if need be, you just add extra hours into the day. Today's going to be 30 hours.
Used to be also a lot of times it was Matzah Shabbos was the time that I would sit in the office and just do billing. I had no secretaries. I had nobody. Matzah Shabbos was the most
Saturday
quietest
night,
time. Right? And I would sit in the office the whole night and just send invoices.
This was towards the beginning.
Towards the beginning, yeah.
Now you have someone doing that for you.
Yeah, now we have a whole staff here.
So how does your intake department work? Are you doing the intake? Are you taking the calls?
I still do take calls.
What's the reason for that?
I like it.
I think that could actually be another reason that that attributes to the success, is that no matter how big the business grew, you never let it outgrow you in terms of you being involved in the intake. Because when people call, they want to speak to you.
Yes and no. But I still take phone calls till this day, and I enjoy it. I really do. I really enjoy it because I feel if I don't do that, I feel I don't have the business on my hand. I don't have control. But Baruch Hashem, I do have a good managers, and they do a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. But I like to keep busy. I like to be I still want to know what's going on.
You don't have that dream of building your business to a point where you can work like 4 hours a week.
No.
No, you enjoy it.
I really enjoy it.
In the process of your growth over the last 7 years, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
Biggest challenge? Nothing was a challenge.
Nothing was a challenge?
My biggest challenge was leaving a grocery store and going by myself. That was my biggest challenge.
Why is that?
I don't know. Either because I'm very loyal to somebody. When I'm loyal to someone, I don't like just to walk off somebody and just walk away. I never say no to nobody.
Wow.
So it was very hard. That was the only challenge. Anything that goes wrong even, or any challenges like employees and stuff like that, I'll be honest with you, I really have faith in God. He brought everybody to me. There were times that it was challenges, it was hard, but I just had to let it go. And Hashem made everything happen. There were sometimes customers would call me and I would promise them that I'm going to come clean it today. There's no way in the world I would have. And I made it happen. I don't say no to nobody.
It never happened to you something like where you had this crazy busy day and then everything was just going haywire and then the truck gets into an accident and then...
I'll give you an example that's happened to me yesterday. One of the drivers is going to come on time. That's okay. We just hired another driver who was extremely very slow. And another driver said he might call out for tomorrow. And the other driver his license was expired yesterday. So he can drive the truck tomorrow. I have only one driver. I had 25 stops, 30 stops. He's not going to get it done. He's just not. So then suddenly the other driver called me back that he's coming. The other guy renewed his license this morning and things just changed. I don't know.
I may have seen him at the DMV. I was there this morning too. My license also expired.
So it just works out. I don't know. Again, there is days that the truck breaks down. I have only one truck on the road, but I make things happen. I just make things happen.
So the key is really, no matter what happens, just to just get it done, no excuses.
Get it done, no excuses, and be patient.
If I could be Jewish for a second, Yeshua's Hashem Keharafayin.
Correct.
God's help comes in the blink of an eye.
That's what it is.
You just have to wait for that blink.
You just have to wait. I really feel part of my whole thing is really faith in Hashem. And believing in every minute that goes in this company is all B'yad Hashem.
When you're a God-fearing individual, it definitely makes things a lot easier to absorb, to handle. When things go down, you believe that it's going to be, it's going to be okay. If it doesn't seem okay, it's still okay because you don't know what okay means.
Correct.
In the moment.
Correct.
What was it that caused you to want to start marketing your business, going from word of mouth to...
It's from word to mouth. So basically, when I left the grocery store, I actually just was doing whatever I could do. So was times I was bored. I was going crazy, but I did other things. I bought 2 houses at that time out of nowhere, and we invested that. But I invested in real estate, and Hashem helped me out there also. Around that year, about 3-4 months after I left, or 6 months, I got hit by the Department of Labor.
What did they hit you with?
I didn't pay the workers overtime. So obviously you have to pay. It's very important to pay every single worker overtime. At that time, I did not know the laws. I did not know too much what's going on.
So one of your employees snitched on you?
Yes.
Ouch.
So right there, I was facing a $200,000 fines. I did not know what to do.
And this didn't make it to your list of challenges that you faced?
I don't call this a challenge. That's not the challenge.
A little blip.
It wasn't. It's one of the things. Again, it wasn't a challenge because it's all beyond Hashem. If I tell you every single detail what went through there, and I should show you what I have, voice notes, emails, and you're like, what? Doesn't make sense. It's just beyond Hashem.
When you first saw that letter or got that call,
I got that call. Actually, my wife was in Israel at that time. I was taking care of my kids. I was in my house, and I got a call from the Department of Labor. We want to order your books. I didn't have books. I didn't pay.
What books?
I had nothing there. I'm serious. I was still in my house. I had a small water heater closet. I put a small tiny desk, and that was my office. It was like 5 by 5. That's it. Baruch Hashem really helped me. It was a 1-month process. Right before everything worked out, I met a friend of mine. His name is Noach Stern. He was telling Moshe, you're too down. I was like, no, I'm not down. I'll be okay. But he was like pushing me. I should tell him I told him what was going on. I thought I would love to sell this company and just walk out. He offered me, then I'll give to you $150. It was $150,000 he wanted it. I was like, okay, I'm willing to sell. I met him that night with another guy, and I was willing to give it up. And I told him, you deal with the Department of Labor, I'm not interested. Next day, I got a phone call from my brother from Eretz, calls me up, and I still have this voice notes right now. He called me up 39 times. My phone was off. My brother-in-law was with him at that time, and my brother-in-law sent me the screen, how many times they called me. He told me, do not sell it, no matter what. He tells me, people fall and people go up.
7 times.
He told me, and right there and there I made my decision. You know what? I'm not giving it up. I called my friend and I told him, Noach, I'm sorry. I'm not selling it.
Wow.
And till this day, Noach was like, we would joke around.
You should have sold it.
Yeah.
Look how busy you are now.
He said, don't worry about it. The Department of Labor will let you go. And at the end of the day, I think that day or maybe the next day, I got an email from my lawyer. They drop off all the charges. You just have to pay a small fine of, I think it was $8,000. From $200,000 to $8,000.
Yeah, definitely relatively negligible.
Right there and there, I bought a van, started operating more, and everything operating according to the books. You looked at it as if you just won
$192,000. Let's buy a van.
But I was very worried because people were getting paid cash. And now we're going to go on, pay them with the checks. And when they take off taxes, we're going to go according to
the books.
To the books. I was afraid people would leave me. Some people left, and some people stayed. Whoever stayed. It was basically me restarting fresh from the beginning. I had, most of the guys already left. I had really a couple of guys.
And now you're very meticulous with the books.
Everything is to that. Everything has to go according to the law.
Wow. Okay, so when you started out, you were running both the business and personal out of the same bank account, right?
Yes and no. But at the end of the day, I was just writing checks from the business account, but I had no clue what I was doing. I was just writing checks. Okay, how many hours you work today? Whatever. Here's your check. I didn't know that I had to take off taxes. I didn't know nothing. So that's what it is.
And people were paying you in cash also?
No,
how were you able to?
I was depositing in the account.
Did you need to give them some sort of an invoice? Or...
Yeah, that was legit. That means we had a QuickBooks, we had a program, we'd send you an invoice, and you would pay. And they would write a check to EverKleen, and I would deposit it.
But when you would pay your workers,
I would pay them a regular, meaning with the company's check. That was not meaning you have.
But were you able to expense that?
Yeah, because we 1099 them the end of the year. But that's not the point. Because if someone works on the hour, you have to pay them as a W-2. And W-2 is you have to withdraw taxes and stuff like that.
As an employee.
And you have to do it proper.
And that you found out the hard way.
We found the hard way.
Well, almost the hard way, with a hard scare.
Yes.
Wow.
And then from there, we grew 1 van, 2 vans. And we're right now, just EverKleen alone is about close to 30 vans. Wynn's Bins, we have just roll-off trucks for just delivering dumpsters. We have already 5 within a year and a half. And then we have the junk removals. We have close to, I think, 7 or 8 trucks. And then the Wynn's Potty, we have 2 trucks. We just started and launched it. The portable toilet launched in May. We're almost 10 months, and I have 2 trucks, and I'm looking for the 3rd truck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what are some things you wish you would have known when you started out that you know today?
I would have done everything according to the law and everything perfectly. But a lot of businesses start the way I start too, by nothing and just doing it the way you think is right, how you feel, and then eventually until you get caught, and then you do it the right way. And the only way you're gonna learn stuff is by mistakes. What did I learn from my mistakes? That do everything according to the books. And do everything as it says. Now, I don't regret what I've done till now, and I'm happy where I am. Let me ask the question: Would you want me to see what I could have improved for the future? I really don't have anything because whatever I did was tiny steps, but I was not afraid.
But maybe some tricks that you've learned now that you wish you always knew.
One thing I would do recommend people to do is to have a bookkeeper. A professional bookkeeper from the beginning. That I would recommend. I wish I had that in the beginning. Yes, I did not have money. I couldn't hire anybody. But if I did, I should have done it. There was certain things that we had that we encountered over the years where we should have done it.
Why do you feel a bookkeeper before,
A professional bookkeeper or a solid, good accounting. Because when I got audited, you had nothing. If you had somebody advising you how to do it right from the beginning, you should have done it right in the beginning. Why go through the headache? Now, these days, I could go to sleep comfortably. I have 90 guys. I have a lot of trucks on the road. And everything's operating. If something goes wrong and you don't have certain things, so either insurance or documents or workers' comp or the right paperwork in case something goes wrong, you'll go crazy. And one of the things that I got nervous when the Department of Labor called me, I had nothing. What do you want to do? I really had nothing.
Felt very vulnerable, oh my God, I'm being attacked now.
I don't know.
With no defenses.
Correct. I had nothing. I had nothing to protect me. Listen, things happen. I had 3 trucks accident within 1 month. None of them were my fault. It could be somebody just crash into one of your trucks.
But you're covered.
But I'm covered. I can sleep.
So your advice to any business owner
my business owner is do everything according to the books. It might cost you a couple of dollars more, but it's worth it every single penny.
So to systematically work your way through building the business.
But slowly.
Incrementally.
Right. And do it right.
But to do it systematically, to do it properly.
Correct. Because that's going to lead you to better things and better decisions, and because you have everything in order.
What do you think about mentors and having coaches?
One thing is you should have a coach. People should speak to people, advice who are in the industry, and talk to people. Get the feeling. Be very open-minded. Get the feeling. It might not be for you, but you might learn something out of it.
To speak to people specifically in the industry you want to go into, or to speak to people in general that are, running a company?
Either running a company or in that industry where you're in. You never know what you're going to learn from that person. And also, one thing is, I do believe people should talk to their competitions. But some competition are dishonest, where they might you'll give them information while they're going to take your information and turn it around the wrong way.
So how do you combat that? Meaning, what level of communication should people have with their competition? How should they communicate with them?
Again, learning from their mistakes also. Sometimes they get into a mistake. There's something that I did not know how to clean an item or whatever. It's too hard. It's rust or whatever situation it is. There's certain chemicals. If another competition would tell you how to help you how to clean that part, it'll be very nice of each other. So that's also another learning experience that I had with other people. But there are some competitions that you just have to be careful.
They'll tell you, oh, it's a great idea to go ahead and do that.
But you just got to be careful. But again, obviously, people might not like this decision, but I like to be friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
People have came to me and sat down with advice. I helped them, and they're actually doing extremely very well these days. I'm very open to anybody that wants to open the business. I'm here to help as long be a mensch.
Be a man. Be a gentleman. It's also with the understanding that there's plenty of people that need pretty much every service, and if someone else opens something up, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get clients. It just means that, like always, you just have to be on top of your game. Be uncommon, stand out, be different, be special, be unique.
Correct. So my thing is, I try to help others. It's one thing, help other people.
Do you feel that by helping people, it helps advance your business directly?
Yeah, because this is what Hashem wants for me. That's what God wants it. He put me here for a reason. He really did. And if that's gonna help somebody else, I'm very happy.
So one last question: how do you market right now? What do you do to market your business right now? Because once you scale past a certain point, word of mouth is not going to be. It's not going to.
So it's really WhatsApp statuses a lot. I just put in my WhatsApp of what do I do.
On your own WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would do twice a year. I would send that to a few friends, and if they could put in their status, and that's basically it. And
you don't do any paid advertising?
I don't like doing it because what happens is if I go with somebody and I advertise with him for a year or half a year, whatever that is, I feel like the second I stop, they get a different vendor to do the same thing what I'm doing.
Oh, they're gonna find someone that's gonna be.
And I just feel now, if me to go back and put my ad there, I just feel like, what is it? Now I'm fighting back. I won. It's not right. No, just let it go. And I won't advertise at all. And other companies call me up. I was like, you have a cleaning company on your list? I'm not doing it.
But do you do any sort of marketing or?
The only thing I do is LBA. I don't know if you have heard of them. I have a few of them.
Lakewood Basketball Association?
Yeah. We sponsor some leagues, some teams. Usually I like to sponsor for young kids and teenagers. I'm very happy to be the number one sponsor and the most sponsored companies in LBA. I enjoy it because it keeps a kid out of trouble and it keeps somebody smiling, regardless if I lose or win the champions. The main thing is people are happy when they're off the street.
Tell me about LBA because I've seen it only on bumper stickers.
LBA is a league from basketball, baseball, volleyball.
Jewish sport leagues.
Jewish sport leagues from, I think, primary, married till whatever, adults. And they have all different divisions. And every team is sponsored by a different company. So I would choose the younger division. I would sponsor like 3-4 times a season. And I'm very happy, proud sponsor.
Wow. So before we end off, is there?
I don't think we ended off right. There's more stuff to the company that we didn't even mention.
So
that's
where right into
is.
it. Well,
Yes.
what did I fail to cover?
You didn't fail to cover.
No,
you just did not know that, and that is the problem that people don't know what I do. They
So
only
talk to me, I wanna
certain
hear.
parts of the company that we do. So, and then basically after the whole Department of Labor, we bought 1 or 2 vans, and we basically grew it into from obviously the demolition, the concrete cutting, the coil drilling department, floor covering while after they put tiles, and obviously the site cleanup. And basically we grew up tremendously to a stage where we decided, instead of having us from different dumpster companies to deliver us dumpsters, we decided we're going to do our junk removal. But to have a junk removal, everything has to go according to the books, and you have to have a special license for that. Usually it takes about 3-4 years just to get that license. So what I did was, there's no loopholes to get it faster and stuff like that. So what I did is I went and I bought a company by the name Wynn, where I became like a partner with them so I can operate immediately until the DEP approves this sale of transfer to me. It took about 2 years, but what we did is we started with a small box truck and put all the junk in the back. We go to the landfill, dump it there, because otherwise you can't go to the landfill and throw out trash there without this license. And then eventually I decided enough is enough. I'm gonna have my own dumpsters and deliver dumpsters and rent dumpsters, and that's where Wynn's Bins dumpsters came alive. And we only started about a year and a half ago. We own over 300 dumpsters. And
300 dumpsters?
Yes. And we have about 5 trucks. But we also broker all over the United States. So if a customer is doing a job in Connecticut, I'm not going to drive my truck all the way down to deliver a dumpster. We work with other vendors there, and we broker the jobs there. So we do all over the United States. We have done in Florida, Connecticut, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. I've delivered a dumpster to California and other states.
But mostly the East Coast, though.
Yeah. But our own dumpsters that we could deliver the same day service is Ocean County Monmouth. But my other vendors also, when we broker, we have a very good relationship with them where sometimes we could get it the same day too, or the next day.
Wow.
And then that came into light, and then we had Wynn's Potty came in only 6, 7, 8 months ago, and we will rent portable toilets every job site, any potty rentals, and also same day delivery. And really new ones. We have all dumpsters are new. Our portable toilets are new. And Baruch Hashem, we have grown.
So if you need a portable toilet, if you need to go to the bathroom urgently, they do same day service. So tell me, what else you guys involved in?
It's basically a one-stop shop for all contractors and home builders and homeowners.
That's where you're headed.
Yeah. And at the same time, again, we do carpet cleaning. People don't know. An example, we can have a beautiful conversation. We have 2 truck bonds, professionally carpet clean. A lot of people don't know exactly what we do. People don't. But hopefully one day we'll come out with something that people would know.
What are the main misconceptions people have about you, or confusions people have in terms of what you do? Like, what are the most bizarre phone calls you get?
I will do anything for anybody. I have got call. There's a company called EverKleen with a CL. I spell my thing KLEEN, or maybe it's spelled that way also. There's a water heater. I have got a call. I need my water heater to be fixed. I'm not a plumber. I'm not what you call. But I have got those calls.
Does it ever happen to you that you can't be involved in the business at all because there's something like this, whether there's something going on in your personal life or health or whatever it is that might get in the way? How do you deal with such a scenario? Because you're a workaholic, I would say. You like to be working all day long. So what happens when you can't be doing that?
I'm always available for my family. That's first thing. My family comes first, no matter what. Thank God that He blessed me with 5 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife. But I'm always there for them, whatever situation they're in, and I make time for everything. Things go wrong. Obviously, my health comes first, and the health of my family comes first. I really make time for everything. If I can do something, I can do it with as health wise. I mean, obviously my manager they really take 90% of the calls. They deal with everything 90% of the time. But I'd like to be extremely busy with it still. And if I have to step out, I could always step out. Right now, Baruch Hashem, that I could go home at 6:30, 5 o'clock and relax also. And we just changed phone companies with a phone system where at 7 o'clock, if it's emergency, you press a certain number and someone's going to answer. I don't get as much phone calls as I used to at night because I fixed a lot of things where it can make life much easier. If someone's calling you at 9, 10 o'clock at night, it's either emergency or something. Why do I have to pick up a phone call if that thing can be wait till tomorrow?
Right.
Obviously, if it cannot wait, okay, you can call the company and listen to the instructions and follow the instructions. And obviously, if it's emergency, we'll answer. And sometimes I do get phone calls. Sometimes I'll tell the customers, I did change a lot of things from beginning to now to have more time with the family. And especially if I have to enforce my workers to do the same thing, to answer the phone calls at night, I don't think it's right. And Baruch Hashem, we all came to an agreement with everybody that if a phone call comes at night, it should wait. If it needs immediate attention, we'll answer it and we'll figure it out. We'll do whatever we can.
Right.
It's not what it used to be, Baruch Hashem. I do have a normal life.
If you wanted to walk away from for a month, would the business be able to run by itself?
Yes. It's really running by itself.
Wow.
I'm not really, again, we can see my phone calls right now. There's a lot of stuff, but all the stuff could wait. It's emergency, I know. You know, when you go back to me and tell me what was the big mistakes that I've done, I still can't say no to people when anybody needs my help. But I have a manager that could say no and could explain himself in a nice way that we can't do it right now. We'll do it tomorrow. But if it's not urgent, things could wait. But we try to service as much as possible, either the same day or the next day. That's our.
Yeah, that's your thing. So you're saying the one thing that you would have done different is to be able to say no?
To say no. It is a challenge.
I've heard someone say is that, I think one of the people that I interviewed was, he said some of the best clients are the ones he said no to. Have you ever had a situation
Yes, I did say no to one guy, so my manager. I told him no when he asked me to hire him. I did say no because he worked for a friend of mine. If someone works for one of my friends or stuff like that, I would never ever take away.
You don't want your friend to lose a good worker.
Oh, it should happen to me. Someone should come take my worker from me. Came over to me. I told him, listen, I would love to hire you, but I can't. The only way I'm going to hire you is you tell your boss he gives you permission to talk to me about a job. Otherwise, I won't hire you. It's uncomfortable for him, but he did it. And Baruch Hashem, it worked out to the right. We're still friends. And I did tell him one of the rules, if I hire him, that one of the things is he has to stay by him as long as the other guy needs him until he finds the right person. He did stay 4 or 5 months until.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Did it ever happen that you had to?
And he's my best guy.
He's the best. I feel bad for that friend. Did it ever happen that you had a client that you were working for, and you had to go ahead and fire them because they were just driving you nuts?
I tried not to lose a customer. And Baruch Hashem, I did not lose a lot. If I lost customers, is because either they have a friend who started the same business that I'm doing and they're using them, or at the end of the day, either the guy didn't pay and I had to chase him. Second, I had to chase you. I rather don't come to me. I'm not interested. You're a dishonest person. They're not paying somebody if he did a job. Other customers, again, I will never get angry at a customer unless you really, really get into my skins. And that's by not paying at the end of the day. That really bothers me a lot. Because at the end of the day, I'm working with you with trust. That means I do my job, you're happy with the job, let me get paid. Don't give me the excuses tomorrow. I'm not interested. You want to tell me you don't have now, I messed up? Talk to me. I'll work it out. Now, if I work it out, keep to your word.
What do you mean you work it out?
Let's say we make a payment plan. You had an issue. You want to make a payment plan? You want to do $100 a month, whatever that is, a week, whatever that is? I have no problem. But keep to your word. Don't come to me in a month. Don't answer me. Don't pay me for the next 6 months.
That's right. It's dishonesty.
If I owe somebody money, I have to pay him. One of my priorities is to pay everybody. And one of the things is with my company is that we don't owe anybody any money.
You pay on the same day?
We do. Yes.
Wow.
The same day. Unless if they want to pay, accept a credit card right away, we'll pay them the same day. If not, you're gonna have to wait for the secretary to write you a check.
Anyway, this has been amazing. This has been Moshe Dahari. He went from being a janitor to running a company with 90 people. And this has been an incredible story. I was not expecting this. Thank you very much for coming on here. And hopefully we'll do this again.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving me the time. And really appreciate it. Thank you.